Hello and welcome back. Today I have the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro Omni. This is the newest gaming headset from SteelSeries. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the specs. So the Omni is going for $399 US. It launched today when this video is going live, May 5th. That $399 price point puts it right between the Nova Elite and the Arctis Nova Pro Wireless. So about $20 more than the Nova Pro Wireless and about $200 less than the Elite. It follows the basic design language of the Nova lineup. It has the same two swappable battery system, the Infinity battery system. It has the same close back over-ear design. This uses the same drivers as the Nova Pro Wireless, so it has the 40mm neodymium magnetic drivers. This does get the Bluetooth system that is in the Elite, so Bluetooth 5.3 with the LC3 and LC3 Plus codec support. This has one microphone. It's a retractable boom mic, and it is actually one of the major upgrades of this headset. It's the Clearcast Pro microphone, which we'll get into in a bit. This does have active noise cancellation and transparency. So with the Omni, you get the headset in the box here. You get a cloth storage pouch, the GameHub, of course. You get two USB cables. They're USB-A to USB-C cables. You get a microphone pop filter, and you get a manual. One notable exception here is they're no longer including a 3.5mm cable with the headset. I guess most people weren't using it, and they probably found it redundant to include something you are probably going to use wireless anyways. I don't necessarily have an issue with that, but it's just something to be aware of if you were expecting it. So looking at the headset itself, well, as you can see, it follows the same basic design language as the entire Nova lineup. Same Comfort Max system. So the ski goggle headband here, which is adjustable, and the same type of retractable hinges. This is all plastic. It's all ABS plastic, the same as the Nova Pro Wireless. There's no aluminum on here like the Elite. Save for one thing, which I'll get to in a bit. The ear cups have been modified a bit, so they're using plushier ear pads now. These are a little bit deeper and a little bit plushier than the Nova Pro Wireless. I don't know if it's just the depth that gives more room, but I definitely found a little bit more room for my ears. My ears are on the average size, I guess. For me, it was a little bit more room than the Nova Pro Wireless, and I like these ear pads a lot. They're very comfortable, very soft. As you can see, very plushy. If you wear glasses like I do, these are great. The battery is still in the right ear cup and very easy to get to by taking off the magnetic speaker plate. And on the left side, it's still just a USB-C port for charging here if you don't want to use the GameHub for charging. On the right ear cup is the Bluetooth controls, and on the left is everything else. So you have power, the mute switch, the volume wheel, which this is aluminum now, not plastic. So this is the one thing they kept aluminum. And it also matches the color of the headset, which is nice. Actually, this midnight blue color, I think it's fantastic. Like, this thing looks great. It's not the boring black, typical black color, and it's also not like the white kind of lifestyle color. It has a nice sort of aesthetic to it still, but it's not so flashy, not so obvious. It's very nice. Anyways, 3.5mm aux connection, and the retractable boom microphone. The GameHub follows the basic GameHub design we've seen with the Elite and the Nova Pro Wireless, so OLED screen on the front with a capacitive touch button, aluminum volume knob, and they actually added a bit of texture to this one. So As you can see, there's sort of this grippy texture to it now, and it does actually feel nice. On the Elite, it's smooth, and this makes it feel less toy-like. So kind of a nice change that they did. The slot for the extra battery, and you still cannot put it in the wrong way. It will not let you, which is always nice. And all the connections are on the back, so you have a 3.5mm line in and line out, and 3 USB-C connections. Bottom has a rubberized grip to it, so it doesn't move on the table. Connectivity options for this headset. So you have the wireless, the 2.4 gigahertz wireless here, which has been upgraded the same as the Elite to 24-bit by 96 kilohertz sampling rate. Nice to see that. So if you're using Sonar, has the same layout. So all channels except for the chat channel get the 24 by 96. The chat channel is still reserved for 24-bit by 48 kilohertz. The wireless range is still great. I can go like I can walk like 15 meters from this office, my home office that I'm in, to my kitchen, through 2 walls, and I can still hear it fine, and I don't hear any drop in audio quality either. So it's pretty phenomenal, to be honest. So I guess some people call it like the bathroom test, the toilet test. You can take this with you when you go to the washroom. It still works. Bluetooth, as I mentioned, it's Bluetooth 5.3 with LC3 and LC3 Plus codec support. So if you have a mobile phone, like my phone's a Samsung Galaxy Fold, has LC3 LE audio support. You can use it with this. It's great. You get excellent latency performance. It's like 20 to 30 milliseconds, so it's really good. Bitrate's about 345 kilobits a second. Pretty good for audio, not like aptX adaptive or LDAC for that matter, but way better than SBC. I haven't been able to test the LC3 Plus codec because it's just simply not in too many products right now. The 3.5mm aux connection, one thing to note is that when you plug it in, the headset turns off. So you cannot use ANC or transparency, and you cannot use EQ profiles. So it's effectively a passive headset, which is okay because you can just plug it in and then you use it still, and if the batteries are dead for whatever reason, it's still a usable product. But I would have liked to have seen at least, ANC and EQ support for this. But I digress. It's probably a niche case. As I mentioned, this has active noise cancellation and transparency modes. So the active noise cancellation is actually adaptive, and it does help the actual sound profile of this. So it does compensate for any breaks in the seal. So if you wear glasses, or say you have a lot of hair or beard that comes up for that matter, typically that can break the seal, and that will impact bass performance and even the lower mid-range. Now, this does a really good job at compensating for that and helping to keep the bass controlled and not all over the place due to that. So it works really well. There's no background hiss or white noise, as you may have heard on, like, say, more budget ANC headphones. Same with the transparency mode. Even on the max mode, like the most open mode, there's maybe a little bit of perceptible white noise, but for me, I can barely hear it. If you move it down like to 80%, you can't hear it at all, which is really good, because if you're going to wear these all day, that's kind of what you want. It's just part of the comfort. Battery performance, get 30 hours with each of these hot swappable batteries. SteelSeries rates it at 30 hours. I got closer to maybe 28 with ANC or transparency on, which is still pretty good, which means you have essentially almost 60 hours of battery life between the two batteries here, and you are not waiting for something to charge. You just plug it in when it runs out, and you swap them, and that one charges while this one's being used. And it's pretty unlikely you are going to use this up before that finishes charging. It does have a fast charging support, so it gets about 4 hours of battery life for 15 minutes of charging, I think. Again, that was pretty close in my testing as well, and it just works phenomenally well. Let's look at the GameHub and let's talk about this OmniPlay concept, which is basically why this headset is called the Omni. So OmniPlay we saw on the Nova Elite, and what it means is one GameHub for everything, and being able to mix in up to 4 sources at a time. How can you do 4 sources? Well, 2 USB sources, one 3.5mm line in, and then one over Bluetooth. Now, the 4 sources at a time is pretty extreme, but using 2 or 3 is actually pretty handy. What I like to do is, so the USB 1, this is what you need to connect to your PC in order to use the SteelSeries software with it. It's the only USB port that supports the SteelSeries software. So you connect it to here, and I connect my Nintendo Switch 2 to the USB 2 port. And then I have the headset paired Bluetooth to my phone, so I get to mix between the PC and the Switch, and I can have Discord on my PC while playing a game on Switch, and I can talk to friends using the microphone on the headset. And if I get a call, I can still answer the call and use the headset. I can hear notifications come in because it's connected to my phone. It's honestly kind of a great system, and I use it more than I thought I would. And once you come to use it, if you have that many platforms or that many devices, you realize how hard it is to live without this kind of thing. So I think it's a really cool idea. I don't know of anyone else who's really doing it this way. I know some headsets you can do up to 2 sources at a time, but you can't really do it in this way with this type of simplicity. A lot of times I'll also connect my, let's grab it over here. This is a FIO M21. This is a digital audio player. So I can use either the aux in here, or I can use the USB-C here to go USB-C out and use this to play music. And, you know, because this is, if I connect it with USB-C, then I get the 24-bit by 96 kilohertz high-res support. Even though most of my music is CD quality FLAC, not like 2496 or 24192 high-res. But it's still nice to get that, and from an audiophile perspective, more of a peace of mind in the audio chain that you can get that this is not the bottleneck. I may be an extreme user in that case, but anyways. Even from just going from PC to Switch and having this connected to the phone, I think that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the Arctis app. So if we power this on Bluetooth, and we get my phone, hopefully this connects. Perfect. So the Arctis app is one of the ways in which you can control the headset. And so if you're a console player and you don't have a PC, this is going to be your only way. From here, you're able to select all of the Sonar presets. And you can even do Bluetooth EQ presets. You can toggle the noise control. You can set the microphone EQ. This is where you would also do the noise cancellation for the microphone. And it also does show you the battery and if it's connected to the base station. The one thing I would like to see SteelSeries implement here is being able to create EQ profiles within the app. This is especially important if you don't have a PC. Let's say you have some game consoles and you have a Mac. You don't have access to Sonar on the Mac, and you do have access to Engine, but that will probably be deprecated soon due to the whole it only supporting the Intel chips and Rosetta 2 emulation going away at some point. Anyways, this is still a great option to control the headset, and it does support LE audio, so I can just go into my settings here. It does support LE audio. Even though calls and audio are not selected here, it does get them. This is just how the LE audio works, at least on the Samsung phones. Within SteelSeries GG And Sonar, I'll try and like put a video in here if I can, if I remember to do that. Basically, you have all the same options as you do with the other SteelSeries headsets. You get the engine within SteelSeries GG. You can control options for the headset in there, control options for the GameHub in there. Then in Sonar, you get all the same channels, and you also get to select whether you want those channels to be active. And, you know, they have a set, like the game channel 7.1 speaker support, the chat channel is only 2.1 channel, that kind of thing. So if you're used to that, nothing has changed here. It's just simply you're getting an upgrade on the sampling rate through the GameHub. And if you're not used to that, then have fun learning that. No, I'm just kidding. It is a little bit complicated, I will admit, but if you do sit down and take the time to kind of go through it, it is very worthwhile, especially because of the parametric EQ support. That is probably the reason I would recommend sitting down and at least learning the basics of it, just because it is that powerful. Even if you just use the presets that are in there, for example, I use the Battlefield 6 one a lot, but I just a little bit modify the bass and the mid-range a bit. Even just doing that, it'll open up this whole world for you with this headset. Speaking of, let's talk about the sound quality. So as I mentioned, same drivers as the Nova Pro wireless, the 40mm neodymium magnetic drivers, but not the same sound, because it's not all in the drivers. There are different ways you can tune this. You can tune it with software, and they can also seem to have tuned it internally with however else you can, you know, tune the headsets, little things you can do to modify it. The overall sound of this is has a very clean and detailed presentation, and the entire frequency response is very controlled. So the stock tuning, for me, I feel it leans more towards clarity and balance rather than any sort of emphasis on the bass. That does mean this makes it very versatile, not only for gaming, but for music. It means, from what I heard, a slight emphasis on the upper mid-range and the lower and mid-treble. But that doesn't mean it's sibilant at all. It's not sharp. I'm a treble sensitive person somewhat, and I will be able to hear that right away if it's a little bit sharp in the treble region. I didn't get that from here. The Nova Pro wireless was a little bit sort of like edgy or scratchy in the treble, and I think they tuned this back based on that feedback. This is maybe a little bit closer to the Elite in that regard. So if we go into, you know, gaming audio performance, so that default tuning, it gives you a good balance between like immersion and clarity. And what I mean by that is, just because you can hear things clearly doesn't mean they're going to sound good, or it will actually get you immersed in the audio. So for example, explosions, vehicle engines, and, you know, kind of big cinematic moments, they have a good weight to the sound where you hear it and you kind of feel it. There's this connection you get to it. You can hear, like in competitive games, footsteps, weapon reloads, you know, those environmental cues like trees and grass and people going through brush. Those are all really easy to pick out. This does a really good job of presenting, you know, left to right movement imaging. And the soundstage is pretty accurate, so distance and verticality are pretty well done with this, despite being a closed back headphone. The main games I was playing with this were Battlefield 6, Call of Duty, and PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And this does a really good job with all those games if you take the time to sit and a little bit play with it. So for example, with Call of Duty and Battlefield, I use Dolby Atmos. I don't use the spatial processing within Sonar, and I don't even use the game channel because it's the 7.1 channel speaker system. I go with the chat channel, which is speaker, 2 channels, because that's the channel you can use Dolby Atmos with, and this sounds phenomenal. You are able to hear the verticality of footsteps and of, well, basically movement. So in Battlefield, if you know you're in a room and you can hear vehicles above you, and you can hear people below you, and you can discern both movements and hear them as they move and be able to determine the directionality. Those things are important in competitive games, and it also really does add to the immersion of being in there. So it does a really good job with that. Using the gaming channel, the 7.1 channel, for a game like PUBG, this works really well because you are able to hear all of the channels, and the game engine itself is kind of built for surround sound in that regard. I don't like the spatial processing in Sonar because it tends to blend those channels together too much and you lose some of the accuracy. But you know, for that game, just the 7.1 channels does work really well. Since you know, you're not only gaming, you can also listen to music with these, which I do. And for music, these have, like, the bass has really good punch. It has enough sub-bass presence to give, you know, kind of electronic music and hip-hop and, you know, even some game soundtracks that, like, satisfying foundation. This isn't like bass head by any way. In fact, I think they tuned the bass back a bit from the Nova Pro wireless, and it's less boomy, less muddy than that. So it's more controlled. And I'm talking with active noise cancellation enabled, by the way. I use active noise cancellation enabled when I game with these, just because it does block out all the outside sounds, and it does a really good job of that. And on top of that, it does help with the bass performance. The mid-range is very clean. It's a little bit forward, so vocals come through really clearly, and guitars, they have like a really good texture, and you can really discern if there's multiple guitars. You can hear them. They're layered nicely. Anything dialogue heavy, any content like that, the voices sound natural. That's important because I think a lot of headsets, they tend to kind of scoop the mids out too much because they want this to sound more exciting, you know, but you lose the detail and the accuracy. This doesn't do that. This does a good job. This, like I said, is more in line with, I think, towards what the Elite is going for, as opposed to a more sort of V-shaped, exciting sound. The treble is crisp, and it is detailed, and it is not too sharp. Any tracks that are bright will sound a little bit bright, but this isn't going to emphasize it any more than they already are. My only complaint would be maybe it doesn't bring enough energy into the treble, just because you don't have that airiness, which would give it additional detail, but would also add sharpness and sibilance to it. I think it's a fair compromise, what they did. So this is not fatiguing, and it is not harsh. Doesn't have harsh listening, you know, if you're listening for long periods of time. So like, I review mostly audiophile stuff, so I guess from like an audiophile perspective, you know, this is still a closed back wireless gaming headset. I don't expect this to compete with an open back wired headset, but this does a pretty good job at doing what it is intended to do, which is giving you a good overall sound for both, you know, gaming, music, and even movies. Add on top of that EQ, you know, it's very powerful. The microphone. Yes, we're finally getting to the microphone. So the microphone in here is a brand new Clearcast Pro microphone. SteelSeries says that they wanted to go with a more studio-like quality to this microphone. And I don't know if it's quite there, but it still sounds pretty good. And the nice thing now too is, just like with the Elite, all of the AI noise cancellation is on board. So they have onboard storage and processing on the headset now. And so you can use this without the GameHub, without Sonar and the AI cancellation software, and still get that AI noise background processing. Use it over Bluetooth, use it with the GameHub, without Sonar, it works just the same. It's really great, and you can control it with the Arctis app. So I'm going to give you guys a listen to what this sounds like, and you can let me know what you think. This is a microphone test using the microphone on the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro Omni. The pop filter is on, and the AI noise cancellation is at 50% using Sonar. So this is what it sounds like with some amount of ambient noise. My window in my home office is open. There's some external noise coming in. through the transparency mode on the headset, I can hear that. So let me know if you can hear anything. Let me know how this sounds. And let me know if this sounds like a good microphone to you. This is a microphone test using the microphone on the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Elite. This is the boom microphone using the pop filter, and the AI noise cancellation is set at 50%, which is the default setting. Same settings and situation as the Omni's microphone test. My office window is open, and there is some ambient noise coming in. Let me know if you can hear anything. Let me know how this sounds, and let me know if you think this sounds like a good microphone. All right, I hope you guys liked the microphone clips, and you can let me know what you think of each headset down in the comments. It kind of about sums up the Omni here. So I guess what is this thing? So the Arctis Nova Pro Omni is a $399 gaming headset, and $399 is a lot of money. But you do get a lot for that $399. You get not only just the headset, you also get the GameHub, and I think that's an important thing to remember, especially when you're comparing with other gaming headsets. Because if your intention is to be sort of gaming on a multi-platform level here, or connecting multiple sources even, not just game consoles, this is very powerful, the GameHub, with the multiple inputs, and the Bluetooth on here is very good. If you are only gaming with one platform, or maybe just on PC or something, you probably will not get the value out of this whole package. There may be better options for you. That's only something you can decide. So I'm just here to give you the information in a hopefully non-biased way, and to verify the marketing claims of SteelSeries. But it's ultimately up to you to take that information and apply it to yourself. So this headset will be for those who like to have an all-in-one system for multiple inputs, not for those who just want one thing, I think, unless you really want the PEQ, the parametric EQ within Sonar. This is probably the practical version of the Elite, if I'm honest. The attainable product compared to the Elite. So anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up. Let me know what you guys think. I will have a video coming out soon that will compare the Elite, the Omni, the Nova Pro Wireless, and the Nova 7 Gen 2. And in that video, I'm going to go more in depth about the SteelSeries GG software with engine, what it does for each headset, as well as going through Sonar and what you can do. So if that software confuses the hell out of you, make sure you like and subscribe so that you get notified that video is coming out. So, well, I'll see you soon.